And the others are please.
Mr. Dalston Richards.
Right.
Okay. Bring him up.
Okay.
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We are resuming the docket on the live stream and the court is calling Mr. Dalston Richards. Mr. Dalston Richards, is he connected? Not yet.
Oh, he logged off. He's logging back on right now.
Okay. Mr. Richards, can you connect with your video camera, sir?
I really think it's true. I haven't met I've met
Hello.
like 3 or 4 of the salesmen. They all
Mr. Richards, do you have on your television or some other device? Just for a few minutes, sir, please.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Thank you. This is case number SP 12191831, Dalston Richards. The charge is open alcohol in a motor vehicle, driver. Count 2 of that same ticket is following too close. And count 3 of that same ticket is littering. Mr. Dalston Richards, if you're in the virtual courtroom, please
Yes.
state your name for the record.
Dalston Richards.
And Mr. Berry.
Ovidius Berry Jr. on behalf of Mr. Richards. Your Honor, we would seek another pretrial date to afford Mr. Richards an opportunity to retain counsel.
Okay, Mr. Richards,
Yes.
is this your request, sir? You want to retain your own lawyer, is that right?
Correct. I
Okay,
would like an adjournment.
okay. All right, we're going to give you this one adjournment for that purpose. We will adjourn the pretrial. But you should not delay in hiring that attorney because when you come back, we will be moving forward one way or the other, okay?
Thank you. Yes.
Right, okay. Madam Clerk, could we give Mr. Richards?
June 22nd at 8:35.
Okay, June 22nd, Mr. Richards. 2022 at 8:35, sir. It will be a Zoom connection. Mr. Richards, where'd you
Yeah,
go?
I was just writing it down. Thank you.
All right, sir. June 22nd, 8:35. It will be Zoom the same way you called in today.
Thank you.
All right, if you have no questions, you may disconnect from the hearing.
Thank you.
And who's going to be next? Mr. Berry, Madam Clerk?
I defer to Attorney Berry, Your Honor.
What about Dwan Dickerson? Is he ready, Mr. Berry?
I believe he is.
Well, then let's admit Mr.
Wait, it's Miss Dickerson, is it not? I have a Tiara Dickerson.
Dwan.
Dwan
This is
Oh,
Dickerson.
Dwan. I'm apologize.
yes. Hello?
Yeah. Dwan Dickerson, yes, ready.
Yes, sir.
SP 121-70951, Dwan Dickerson. The charge is driver's license suspended. Count 2 of that same ticket, driving an unregistered or untitled vehicle. And count 3, open alcohol in a motor vehicle, driver. If Mr. Dwan Dickerson is in the virtual courtroom, please say your name for the record.
Dwan Dickerson.
Thank you. Mr. Berry, your appearance, please.
Ovidius Berry Jr. on behalf of Mr. Dickerson. Your Honor, Mr. Dickerson desires a trial in this matter.
Okay, Mr. Dickerson, this is the date and time for pretrial. Did you understand what the offer was that the people made, Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I
you don't want to accept that offer. You want to go forward with trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir. I don't know whether that offer will be available at the date and time of the trial. The officers will be notified to be present. And if they are, we will be going forward with that trial. So Madam Clerk, we will continue the not guilty plea for Mr. Dickerson, and his trial date is
June 1st.
July 1st. July 1st, Mr. Dickerson, 8:30 in the morning.
Okay. I understand, Your Honor.
If you use house counsel, there will be a $100 fee for the use of house counsel for any trial that is held. Okay, so that's whether you win or lose. We do charge $100. All right, any questions, Mr. Dickerson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you may disconnect. We'll see you on July 1st.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Mr. Barry, who do we have next, sir?
Mr. Redding.
Mr. Redding, Robert Redding. Case number U59587721. Robert Lee Redding, offering to engage the services of another for an act of prostitution. Mr. Redding, if you're in the virtual courtroom, sir, could you please, I can't see your face, Mr. Redding. Thank you, sir. Would you please say your name for the record? Mr. Redding, you need to unmute your device. Unmute it
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm here.
and say your name for the record.
Raimondo Robert Lee Redding.
Okay, Mr. Redding, can you be still, please, and keep your face lit?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just kind of hard to hear you.
Okay. You have anything in your house on other than this device? You have your television on?
My kids playing with toys.
Okay, can you go in
Turn this
another?
down. Turn this down. Okay, I can hear you a little better now.
Thank you. Mr. Barry.
Your Honor, Mr. Redding would avail himself of the offer of the prosecutor to enter a plea to disorderly conduct.
Okay, and are there recommendations with that?
Yes, Your Honor. They recommend that he has to take the HIV STI test as well as attend the John School.
Okay. All right, Mr. Redding, you've heard the representation of your lawyer. Are you in agreement with that representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Redding, were you advised of your right to a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you know, if you were to have that trial, normally it would take place inside of the 36th District Court, but because of the pandemic, the courthouse is closed to the public. And so you've agreed to participate on the Zoom technology today, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Redding, did you have an opportunity to speak to your attorney about all of your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, did anyone threaten you, force you, or promise you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty, sir, because you are actually guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Redding, you understand that by pleading guilty, you will be waiving or giving up your right to a trial. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so knowing that you're giving up your rights to a trial, you wish to go forward with a guilty plea. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Redding, would you raise your right hand, please, sir, and be sworn? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, ma'am.
You may lower your hand, Mr. Redding, on the date, the time, and the location indicated in the ticket ending in 87721. Were you in the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you offer someone money or something else of value in exchange for a sexual act?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that person an undercover police officer? Did that person turn out to be an undercover officer, decoy?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Barry, you satisfied with the factual basis?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
The court will accept the guilty plea being satisfied with the factual basis. Mr. Redding, have you ever been charged with this offense before?
No, ma'am.
All right, so then the court will accept the recommendation to amend the charge to disorderly conduct so that the sex offense does not appear in your record. Because Mr. Redding, once you get a sex offense in your record, it comes with a whole lot of mandatory conditions. One of which is jail time, mandatory. One of which is registration on the sex offenders list. So this time, the people have offered the amendment to disorderly conduct so that you can avoid those consequences. But you will have to, actually, was this a delayed sentence or just amendment to disorderly conduct, Mr. Barry?
It's just an amendment, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Redding, you will be required to take the HIV STD test. And I want you to take that within 30 days. You do not have to tell this court what the results of that test were or are, but you should know whether you have exposed yourself to a sexually transmitted disease. I know that you didn't on this occasion because this was not a real working lady. This was a decoy. And so I know that you didn't in this instance, but because we don't know whether you've engaged in this behavior before, we want you to know whether you are infected with an STD. You do not have to tell the court what the results are, but just prove to the court with documentation that you did take that test. And then requiring that you take the misdemeanor morality class. It is just 1 hour, 1 day. I believe it's on a Saturday. We'll let you know that information. And it's online. And then, sir, the fine is going to be $300. So if you pay that $300, you take the HIV test. You have no new charges of this nature. And you complete that misdemeanor morality class, we can close out this case. Are you employed, Mr. Redding?
I'm in a temp service.
Okay.
And I'm self-employed in between that.
Okay, what do you do?
I do haircuts.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we will give you, now, was there a recommended time frame for the disorderly conduct plea, Mr. Barry? Did the prosecutor recommend a time frame or for completion of these conditions or not? No?
Sorry. No, Your Honor, I had mute on.
So Mr.
No time.
Mr. Dickerson, we're going to give you 6 months to complete this, but we want your HIV test to be completed in 30 days, as well as that misdemeanor morality class. And we will give you additional time for the payment of that $300. But we're going to give you review date in 6 months. And all of these conditions must be completed in order for the amended charge to be entered. Okay? You can hand in that proof of taking that HIV test whenever you've done it. So if you do it next week, you can present that certificate next week.
Okay, I don't know how
As soon
to.
as you can, but we'll give
I don't
you
know how
30
to.
days to do that. Madam Clerk, we will give him the information on how to do that, submit that, right? Will he be doing that to probation?
Yes, he would still be referred to probation, so I actually need to have him call me because I have to get his information, verify his address and get his phone number.
Okay, so Mr. Redding, have you got a piece of paper, a pencil? Take down the court phone number.
Hold on one second. Is it 313-965-2900?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I do have that number.
Okay, sir. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah,
You can pay that money online.
you said I can pay the money online?
Yes, and if you need to, you can ask the probation department. I will indicate.
Hold on, I'm sorry, hold on. I'm not trying to interrupt you. Did you say the number was 965-2900?
Yeah,
2290.
2290. Okay.
and sir, if you want to set up an installment payment plan, the court will allow you to do that. So that you can pay this $300 in installments because of the work status. If you can pay it all at once though, that's even better.
Okay. And regardless
right.
to after I pay it and after everything is done, this will be on my name, correct?
This will be, it just will show disorderly conduct and not the sex offense.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Ready? All right, sir. You may disconnect and please call that number after 12 o'clock.
After 12?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Berry, is there anyone else ready?
Charles Davis is the last one, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Charles Davis. Case number SP 120-14411. Charles Curtis Davis, allowing an unlicensed driver to drive, count 2, no insurance. Both matters are scheduled for pretrial. Mr. Davis, are you in the virtual courtroom?
I'm here.
Sir, could you please give your name for the record?
Charles Curtis Davis.
Okay.
Elwood S. Berry Jr. on behalf of Mr. Davis. Your
Mr.
Honor,
Davis, I'm trying to figure out if you're wearing a hat. What in the world is that on your head?
Bandana.
Okay, could we remove that for the court, please? Thank you, Mr. Davis. I appreciate it. All right, Mr. Berry, how do you wish to proceed with Mr. Davis?
Mr. Davis would seeks a trial in this matter, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Davis, will you be hiring your own attorney or proceeding with House counsel?
House counsel.
Okay, sir. If we go to trial, you will be responsible for a $100 fee for the use of House counsel. So I'll just make you aware of that. And we will continue your not guilty plea. Your trial date, sir, it will be a bench trial. And that date is, Madam Clerk, is that July 1st?
Yes, Your Honor.
July 1st, 2022 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Davis, we will continue a personal bond for you, meaning you do not have to pay any money, but you must return on July the 1st at 8:30, sir, for your trial. Mr. Davis, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it's about this ticket. Like, I'm confused about it. I have no clue I really even got it. It doesn't really tell me anything.
Well, Madam Clerk, what's the date of this ticket?
It
The charge-
is May 17th of 2021.
May 17, 2021, sir. Someone drove your vehicle who was unlicensed, and that someone also did not have insurance for that vehicle. So it might
Right.
not have been, it's not alleging that you did it, but a vehicle that's registered in your name was driven by someone unlicensed, and the law holds you legally responsible because it's your vehicle. So is there something else you don't understand? May 17, I don't know who the person was.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. Like, it doesn't say who it was.
I don't know who it was. Does somebody else have keys to your vehicle?
No,
No? Okay. Well, the officer will be here for the trial. They're not here today, but we're scheduling the matter for trial, so the officer will be here on that date. But meanwhile, do you ever let anyone use your car?
no.
Okay, you need to check out the Secretary of State and see what car is registered in your name. Do you have any car registered in your name?
Yeah, I had multiple cars.
Well, somebody was driving them. How many multiple cars do you have?
Around that time, it was like 3.
And no one else had access to them?
Like, I had my keys at home, but other than that, I was driving my cars.
And nobody else had access? No one else was able to get to your cars? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, like,
Somebody did, so we're gonna see when the officer comes, he will have the burden of proof, and they've got your documentation of ownership for this vehicle. So that's all I know right now. We'll see you on July the 1st.
okay.
All right, sir, it will be Zoom connection. Anything else, Mr. Davis?
No, that'll be it.
All right, sir, you can disconnect from the hearing. We'll see you on July 1st. Mr. Barry, is there anyone else? Hello, Mr. Barry, you are muted.
Sorry, apologize. I'm not aware of any other defendants, Your Honor.
Okay, Madam Clerk, is that it for the morning docket?
I have someone in the waiting room, Your Honor, on a phone.
Okay,
I don't know if this is the person that we lost originally, the first person we called.
okay. Why don't we leave the live stream and you can investigate